I've been asked a couple of times in the last couple of weeks here, what about those who maybe I even saw them make a decision for Christ and later on in life, they totally reject the faith, they walk away, they're unrepentant, they live a life directly against Jesus Christ and God the Father. Did they lose their salvation? Well, let's take a look in the scripture. Now, as I share this with you, I'm reminded my Uncle Jim was a pilot for Pan Am years back in the late 60s and early 70s, and he met a fellow, kind of a quirky fellow, when he was in the pilot's lounge. And this fellow would be sitting in a corner, full dress cap, doing the uniform, the satchel, and he would have the jargon, but he was kind of quirky, and Uncle Jim kind of stayed away from him. We found out later on his name was Frank Abagnale. You might remember they made a movie about him, Catch Me If You Can. Frank Abagnale was, for the lack of a better phrase, he was a professional imposter. He would fake a different employment, and he got away with it so many times in times of lax security. And he rode on planes on one of the side seats and things like that, giving the impression that he was an active pilot. Now, listen, Frank had the uniform. He knew the jargon, but he wasn't a pilot. 1 John 2:19 comes into play here. Same thing. It tells us, and I paraphrase this, but look it up. They were among us, but they weren't of us. They didn't continue with us, and because they didn't, that also showed that they were not of us. Oh, they gave the impression, but they were not a believer. Jesus is looking at Judas. And I mean, think about it. Judas is with Jesus and the disciples for 3 years, 24/7. And yet Jesus knows this one's heart is not for him. John chapter 6, Jesus says, haven't I chose 12 of you and one of you is a devil? John chapter 17, Father, I've not lost anyone except for the son of perdition. He knows, and Judas is here in the midst of the miracles, no doubt carrying the baskets of bread and fish. In these miracles, probably even preached, but he wasn't a believer. Acts chapter 1 and verse 25. When he died, he went to his own place. We may not know, but Matthew 13, the parable of the wheat and the weeds, in the harvest time, when it's time to gather at the very end times, it will be made evident. Take a look at that, Matthew chapter 13, verses 24 through 30, and that will help you out. We may not know from our idea as the disciples, they may look like a Christian, but in their heart, that's the true thing. And Jesus knows the hearts and minds.